One thing I hear a lot of from people I work with is that they're afraid to have children because their own parents were abusive, whether that abuse was psychological, emotional, physical, sexual, or a combination of all four. And my clients are concerned that they too will be abusive to their own children if they have them. And sadly, I know a lot of adult daughters of narcissistic mothers who deliberately chose not to have children so that they would not pass on the abuse that they themselves were subjected to. And it's a terrible shame and a dreadful sorrow for them, not least because I know these women would have made wonderful mothers. But here's the thing. Cycles can be broken. You can be the cycle breaker in your family. You can be the one who chooses not to pass on the pain of abuse to the next generation. It's not easy, and you will make mistakes, and this alone will set you apart from your abusive parents. You will apologize for your mistakes. As the daughter of a narcissist and a psychopath, because my parents were really two cheeks of the same arse, to be honest, and the sister of brothers who raped her for years, I managed to break the generations-long traumatic cycle of abuse within my own family. And it wasn't easy. And it won't be easy for you either. And it may mean walking away from your toxic family members, or at the very least, putting strict boundaries in place that they will resist and that they will try and make you feel bad for. But you're worth it. And your kids are worth it too. So first of all, please take comfort from the fact that you recognize and want to change the cycle of abuse within your own family. Your desire to do so is the first step. And the second thing I want you to know is that doing the exact opposite of everything your own parents did isn't really a solution, because extremes are rarely healthy. Thirdly, I would suggest that you talk to friends whose parenting styles you admire. Ask them to recommend books for you, or go to the library yourself and just check out a selection of books that recommend things that feel right when you read them. Not necessarily books that recommend things that make intellectual sense to you. And I say that because while both emotion and intellect are involved in it, parenting is more of a heart job than a brain job. Now, I do have a selection of books that I can recommend, but I'm reluctant to suggest them because how I work, how I parent will not necessarily work for you. And as a single parent, I raise my children entirely on my own. I would have the dynamic is different. I don't have another parent, another adult around to whom I could, pass on some of the work, or with whom I could share some of the parenting duties. That said, however, please do avoid the what to expect books, because honestly, they are full of shit and they actually promote dangerous practices. If you would like recommendations from me, please do email me, hazel@traumarecovery.ie. And I will share my recommendations with you, but I don't want to necessarily suggest that the books that I have read or the books that I would recommend are the best ones for you. Finally, you know that old thought that you can't love anyone unless you love yourself first? Yeah, well, it's not true. I loved many people, and most especially my own children, long before I loved myself. But I'm a better mother, a happier mother, a more joyful friend, and a much better role model for my kids since I learned to love myself. So I would suggest that you do that anyway. Now, how I did that is something that I will talk about tomorrow.